Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And for those of you who are new, my name is Ellie.
Hi everyone, my name's Elizabeth.
Hello, my name's Lizzie Sirkman.
In this video, we're going to be talking about how to survive the Chicago winter. This was honestly my mom's biggest concern when I was going to college. Believe it or not, a lot of prospective families ask about the winter and how to adjust to it. And Illinois Tech has a lot of people that are out of state, and usually they come from warmer states. So if you want the full scoop on how to survive the Chicago winter, then keep watching this video. So first, to get into expectations of what the temperatures are like, I'm looking this up on Google right now, like my laptop's right here, so that way if someone fact checks me, then I can back it up. During the colder months, so November to February, the low in degrees Fahrenheit is around 20 to 30, and the high in degrees Fahrenheit is around 30 to 50. I'm from northern Alabama, so I had no idea really what to expect for a harsh winter. I thought it was going to be a blizzard. I thought it was going to be intense winds 24/7, snowing all the time, but that definitely wasn't the case for my first year. Sometimes when I was walking to class early in the morning, the snow and the wind would pelt my face, and that wasn't really fun, but that wasn't too often. It snowed only a couple times, which I was honestly sad about. I wanted it to snow more. It definitely wasn't a blizzard though, and honestly the snow was really pretty. I really enjoy the snow, especially when it is freshly fallen and everything's really powdery. It's really fun to go and have snowball fights or to go sledding or just go play in the snow. With all that being said though, there is still some wind and some cold, but if you are dressed properly, then you'll be fine. So with that being said, let's hear about what to pack.
So let's just jump right into it with what to pack. So as Elizabeth explained earlier in the video, it gets super cold in Chicago in the winter. So I'll be completely honest, the first thing that I bought when I figured out that I was going to school at IIT was my long winter coat. So that can be any down coat, any puffy coat that is really insulating. I really suggest one with a hood to protect your ears. Even if you already have hats or earmuffs, it's just better to have that extra protection from the wind. And I also really suggest getting a long coat that goes all the way down to cover your legs, because I find it's easy to forget about your legs in the winter. So a lot of times you forget to put layers there and you end up freezing in the CTA station waiting for your train. So honestly, my long coat was a lifesaver at IIT. So on top of that, you're also going to want a pair of sturdy boots. So whether that's a pair of Uggs that have been weather protected, or a pair of Docs, or some other weatherproof shoe, you're really going to want something that you can put heavy socks under that is going to stay sturdy and dry and keep your feet really dry as you're walking through the Chicago streets. Because let me tell you guys, wet socks are some of the worst things to have in the winter. On the topic of socks, if you can ever get cabin socks, get your hand on a pair of cabin socks. It's a specific brand. Usually they sell them at Dick's or any other sporting goods store. They're really nice because they're wool on the outside and they have an inner layer of fuzziness on the inside. And honestly, I'll even stack up 2 pairs of these socks in the winter because when my feet get cold, the rest of me is cold, and it's just downhill from there. For other accessories that you might also want, I know I mentioned hats and earmuffs earlier, and those are really a lifesaver because they're not only cute to complete an outfit, if for those of you who are concerned about that, but also they make sure to keep your ears warm, which are usually your hands and your ears are the first thing to get cold when it does start to snow in Chicago. But you'll also really want, on top of that, gloves. You'll want scarves to cover your face. For other things that you'll want to pack to prepare clothes-wise for Chicago weather are layers. So like this flannel that you see me wearing right now, even though it's the dead of summer and in the middle of July. There's a brand out there called Cuddle Duds that they have undershirts that I wear maybe 3 of under as layers in the winter. You'll want long sleeves, short sleeves, vests, jackets, sweatshirts, all of that just to make sure that you can stay really warm under that big long jacket that you bring. You'll also want a pair of leggings, guys too. I know that that's not really intuitive, but they're really nice to wear under jeans or under other pants. And I know they even sell fleece-lined pants, so that could be something really nice to look into. The last thing that we'll cover on the topic of preparing for Chicago winters, and I know we've touched on this in our earlier What to Pack for Chicago video, but it's worth saying again, with Chicago winter usually comes not only snow, but also when it's warmer, a lot of rain and a lot of slush that goes around. So an umbrella is really helpful. I know there are a lot of styles out there. I really like, personally, I bought this clear one from Target that it goes all the way over my head, so it covers me to my shoulders. It's kind of longer, but it's clear, so I can still see through it and see where I'm going, and it's really nice because it keeps the rain from splashing up in my face. There are also rain boots if you can get them. I know I actually got a pair of Hunter boots. I was lucky enough from a thrift store. That brand is really nice if you can get them, but any ones. I got the ones that are thigh highs because it's just easier to keep all the water out of your socks. Like I said, wet socks are no fun. And also a rain jacket. Any rain jacket will do, but it's nice to have one with a hood so you can keep your hair dry, keep your head warm when it starts to get colder out there.
Here are some things that you can do to help you throughout the winter. At the train stations, look for the heaters. These are at every train stop and there's usually a couple of them, and really nice to stay under during the cold times. That way when you're waiting for your train, you're not there freezing. Another one is to stand behind walls or just kind of walk more closely to buildings. Some of that wind can be blocked off by the buildings, so if you're able to, try to do that. Illinois Tech is a smaller campus, so walking to class, you're not in the cold for too long, but still you want to do everything you can to try to stay out of the cold. And one thing you can do is to use the buildings to your advantage. I really recommend trying to walk through buildings to get to your final class. These can be class buildings, this can be MTCC, which is a common one. Going through buildings, you'll be able to be in the warmth for as long as you can, so I recommend trying to figure out a system to do that. Another one might seem kind of obvious, but is to avoid ice and instead walk on snow. This will give you a lot more traction. If you're not looking down and you're distracted by your phone or something, it can be easy to step on ice and potentially slip. So be aware of your surroundings and try to walk on that packed snow instead. For this last tip is just to be mindful with your outfit. So for me, I'll be all dressed and ready to go. I'll have my big jacket, I'll have gloves, I'll have long pants with no rips in them. But I'll be wearing short socks for whatever reason, and I'm like, oh, it's fine, it's just a small part, like I won't be that cold. No, my ankle slivers were so cold. I was literally standing at the train station and my ankle slivers were exposed and I was poking them and they were numb. So don't be like me, make sure you wear tall socks, make sure you're 100% ready for the climate that you're about to go into, and don't let your ankle slivers be exposed or they will be very, very cold.
A lot of people go home for winter break, but in the weeks leading up to that, there are so many different things going on to get you in kind of the Christmas spirit, I guess. There's all different kinds of festivals and events and markets, and some of my favorite ones were going ice skating at Maggie Daley Park. There is also the Christmas Tree Lighting Festival, where they light up the huge Christmas tree at Millennium Park. There's a huge parade where they turn on the rest of the Christmas lights in the city. There's also a huge festival at Northerly Island, and there's the German Christmas market, which is another one of my favorites. It just has a lot of really cultural German experiences for their Christmas time.
And you don't even need to leave campus to still experience some of those winter fun activities. So we have plenty of green space around campus, plenty of open little parks. And I remember the first day it snowed, it was the day after Halloween actually, there were students who I don't think they had ever seen snow before, and it was so cool because they were just going out into the courtyards that we have and making these little snowmen with what little snow there was. I think they were about knee high. But it was awesome. They went out, they made a little army, everyone was giggling, everyone was laughing, and it was really awesome. So there are plenty of things to do in the winter. You just have to be a little creative.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and you learned how to survive the Chicago winter. Make sure to keep the tips in mind as well as the packing list so that way you can be completely prepared and stay warm. Also make sure to keep the activities in mind so that way you can have some fun during the colder months. We hope y'all enjoyed it and we'll see you next fall.